Well, I've got a little bit of a mess on my deck. I really need to get after some things. I have pulled out all of my pots, my clay pots, and put them on my table to get a little bit better organized, to figure out where I want to put them for the season. I look like I've gotten a little bit crazy with my winter sowing. Lots of jugs that I don't think are going to move for right now. I think I'm going to be leaving them there. And I have a bunch of plastic pots stashed back here. So we have some things to do today. And don't be fooled, it is a beautiful sunny day, but it is cold. I'm not sure where our warm weather went, but nonetheless, it's also time to get some cool season planting done. I have a little grouping of pansies right here that I'm going to use right back there in an arrangement, and I have some cooler season crops that I want to try putting in pots this year. So I'm going to flip you around and show you what I've got and what I'm thinking. So yes, it is a beautiful sunny day, but it is windy today, and I really don't know what happened to our warm weather. It is so cold. I was out on my walk this morning and my hands felt like they were going to fall off. It was freezing. So hopefully we get out of this pattern soon. It looks like we're about to get a lot of rain, which will be good for everything in the ground and for my winter sowing jugs, all of the seeds that I'm starting. I'm a little bit slow in getting some spring containers started this year because by the time that you're seeing this, it will be back, but we are about to take a little trip down south to visit some family. We're going to North Carolina to Bald Head Island, which is an amazing island. We have some family there. If you ever get the chance to go, it's beautiful. And then my dad lives on a lake called Smith Mountain Lake in Virginia, so we're going to be going there. So it's a little bit of a spring break trip. So I really didn't want to start too many containers before then as far as like potted flowers and things like that. But there are some seeds that I can get started, and because we are going to get a good amount of rain, I don't feel bad leaving them. I think that they'll be fine. I will just water them in really well and then count on the rain while we're gone. And who knows, maybe when I get back, I'll have some things sprouting up. So I want to show you really quick some things that I picked up. I have a really small yard, so I don't have room to have like raised beds. I really can't grow produce in my flower beds because they're so small, and I don't want them to be overtaken by vegetables and produce. Just honestly, I want things to look pretty. So my goal is to just start some more like container, like in pots gardening, and just really experimenting. I'm not in a position to grow anything in mass unless it's maybe like a super prolific jalapeno or something like that. I can usually get a pretty good crop out of, but I just for fun want to try different produce each year and just see, if I can grow it, just to say that I grew it and just to learn. I'm always curious to learn how to grow different things. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of this today, but these are just some things that I picked up that are more cooler season, like vegetables that you can start now when it's cold. I'm honestly a little bit late. I could have started this a little while ago, but life gets in the way. It got busy. So I just picked up a little tiny bag of yellow onions. These are just some yellow onion bulbs that I got at my local store that I've never grown onions. They're really easy to grow. I thought that would be fun to put into a container. And then I have these sugar snap peas from last year, I believe, and I'm planning to put those in the pot in the corner on the deck that I showed you, growing up a trellis along with the pansies. And surrounding my sugar snap peas, I thought that it would be fun to try some lettuce. I have this red leafed lettuce, which is, what's it called? Red salad bowl. And I have green ice lettuce. I thought that would just be fun to scatter and mix the lettuce surrounding the sweet peas growing on the trellis. And then I also have some sweet peas, flowering sweet peas, the Mammoth Choice blend. Sorry about the dirty package here. I have started these sweet peas in some winter sowing jugs to see if I can get them started in there. And I may also direct sow some in my beds. I'm not sure. The rabbits always get them whenever I do that. So I've been really frustrated over the past couple of years. So that's why I thought that they would be nice to try to start in the pot, growing up the same trellis as my sugar snap peas. I thought that would be a good experiment. So that is the spring container that I'm thinking of for that area. And then by like the end of May, June, I will transition that into more of a summer pot. So these are just spring things that I am trying for now. And then I also have some cilantro I'm going to try to start. Now, these are things that I'm not sure if I'm going to be growing or not. Whoops, everything's fine because it's so windy. I have a pack of carrots and a pack of parsnips. So we'll see if I feel like I have the right container and if I want to take up a whole container. That's the other thing. If they're going to take a long time to mature and I don't want that container being used up for the whole summer with carrots and parsnips, then I may, hold off. I'm also kind of going to be keeping my eye out for more containers. I'd really love to go to some thrift shops, some antique stores, something like that, to try to see if I can find some containers at a really good price. Things like galvanized, any kind of pottery, clay, anything that is real pretty, kind of vintagey looking that I can find for a good price. I am up for just trying to be creative, even old soup pots. Like old bowls, like metal bowls, anything to expand my collection of containers to be able to grow a little bit more things. And then I also have some kale. I have some beets. Let's see, I have some spinach. And I have some butter crunch lettuce that I will put into its own separate container instead of mixed in with my spring container with the sweet peas. This can be in its own container. So that is all of the seeds that I have. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to be using all of them today, but those are all things that you can grow and you can start in cooler weather. I'm going to show you quickly how I'm going to mix some of my own potting soil, my old potting soil from last year, and just kind of revive it and refresh it to extend its season into this year. And then I'm going to be using that in some of my containers up on the deck. So let's get to work. Okay, I have my wheelbarrow, very attractive I know, with all of my old potting soil dumped into it. And then I have this bag of Black Cow compost that I am just simply going to dump into my wheelbarrow of soil and mix it all together to revive it and fill it back with some very necessary nutrients. And that's it. Very, very simple. I guess if you wanted to go a step further, you could also add a little bit of like the Plant Tone Espoma fertilizer, which is just a slow release fertilizer that would slowly feed the soil over time. But I feel like this compost, this Black Cow, will be sufficient, and the Espoma is another $15. So I'm just going to stick with this for right now. So I'm going to open the bag, dump it in, and mix it around real well, and then we'll get to planting. And I am going to try to work quickly today because it is so cold. I feel like it's getting colder as I'm out here. My hands are getting real frigid and the wind is really picking up. So I'm going to try to be speedy. But this stuff has been amazing for me. I use this in my flower beds sometimes. Like when I see things aren't growing as well as they should, I will dump in a bag of this stuff and it just like seems to immediately revive the plants. So I highly recommend this Black Cow. That took a little longer than I thought. It was hard work. It warmed me up though, so that's a good thing. But you can see that I mixed it in real nice, and I just have this nice fluffy potting soil to work with now. So I think it'll be really good. So since my pots are pretty big, especially the one in the corner, I'm just gonna fill up one of these 5-gallon Home Depot buckets with soil. I can't take the wheelbarrow up on the deck with me, so I will just work out of this bucket. Might need to add a few of these to that one big pot up there on the deck. So I don't have the trellis that I want for this pot yet. I'm looking for something with kind of more of a rounded top. I did have like a TP type shaped one in here last summer that is like a wrought iron trellis, but it was one of those ones that you have to like really hold open, otherwise it goes right back into straight up and down, and it just didn't sit right in the pot. It was just too narrow. So for right now, I'm going to use these bamboo stakes, and I'm just going to keep my eye out for like I would love a wrought iron one, but I think that's going to be too much money. So maybe even something that's kind of half plastic, half metal. I don't know, just something to get me through a few seasons at a reasonable price. I'm just going to keep my eye out for something for this pot right here. So I have 4 here. I'm just going to place them evenly around the pot and then tie them up at the top with a piece of twine. Super easy. I just tied that twine together at the top to create this little TP trellis for less than $5 probably, and I actually think it looks cute. I like the kind of rustic looking nature of it. I think it'll work out well. Start with the pansies first, because then I'll just literally like broadcast spread the lettuce seed all around the pansies, so that it kind of grows up and around the pansies. And then I will put in the sweet pea seeds and the snap pea seeds, and then we'll be done. I just thought that this color combination was so cute. There's some yellows mixed in with the pink and the purple. I really like it. So I'm gonna get these in, and then I will start with the seeds. Pansies are in and looking super cute. Now I'm going to do my lettuce. I'm actually going to take these 2 packs, and I have a little bowl. I'm gonna just mix them together in the bowl, and then I'm just gonna sprinkle it all throughout the pansies. Just broadcast spread it, and I think it'll be really pretty. So this green lettuce, well actually for both of them it says a planting depth of 1/4 inch, and this one says maturity is 65 to 85 days. And this red lettuce says maturity is, let's see, 40 to 60 days. So this will take a little bit less time than the green, but they both should put me in that general time frame of, let's see, April. It's kind of the end of May, beginning of June, when I want to transition this pot over to more of a summer pot container. So I think that'll be perfect. So I'm gonna just broadcast these seeds, and then when I'm done getting everything in, I will put maybe a very light layer of soil on top of everything, just to cover that seed that, wants that 1/4 inch depth. So that should cover everything sufficiently. And I'll be super excited to hopefully be able to use some of this lettuce in a salad or something. I know it won't be a huge amount, but any time that you get to eat something that you grow, no matter how small, I think that's pretty cool. Okay, I think that's good for the lettuce. I definitely overseeded, but I think it'll be all right. Now I'm going to put in the sugar snap peas. Hopefully you can see, whoop, there we go. So these need a depth of 1 inch. So I am going to put 2, let's see, it doesn't really specify, but 2 seeds. I'm just going to do 2 seeds per hole. So this is the sweet pea, or not sweet pea, the sugar snap pea seeds. I'm just going to kind of estimate the depth. And then next up are my Mammoth Choice sweet pea mix. So these also about a 1/4, it says a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch deep. So they're a little less shallow than the sugar snap peas. And for these, I am also going to do, I think I have enough, 2 in each hole. These might last me into the summer. We'll just have to see. I last year put a mandevilla vine on my trellis in this container. Actually, I didn't have this container last year. I forgot to tell you I was gonna say that. This container I picked up at the end of the season at Home Depot on clearance for, I think, $20. It was an amazing steal. I could not believe how cheap I found it for. I think it was originally $70 or something. It was very expensive. So I was super thrilled to pick up this container for that cost. All right, so that is all of the things that I want to put in here. The only other thing that I may have to do once things start to grow is add some fishing twine up and down this trellis to give these plants some more room to climb. So that might be coming, but for right now, I'm just kind of let things, get started and see what happens. It's kind of an experiment, just a fun little container. If it works well this year, then I'll repeat it next year. So let's take a look at all of the other containers I have and the seed packets and decide what I'm going to put in. I'm kind of running out of time, so I got to try to speed it up here. As always, I kind of changed my mind. I am going to add these extra 2 bamboo stakes to this so that the snap peas can have their own stakes to grow on. So I just was thinking these 2 things growing up the same stake are going to be too tangled together, and I might be ready to pull out the snap peas before I'm ready to pull out the sweet peas. So I should give the snap peas their own steak. So I'm gonna add these really quick. Alright, I got this all done. I wish that I would have thought about that before I planted all those sweet peas. I would have gone like every other with the snap peas and the sweet peas, just kept alternating, but instead now I have like 4 of the sweet peas and 2 of the snap peas planted on each bamboo stake. So that's all right. I will just know better for next time. If there is a next time, we'll just have to see how this goes. But everything is all nicely covered with a layer of soil. And now it just needs a little bit of water. Okay, I don't have much time. I'm pretty sure I have dirt all over my face. I'm sorry about that if I do. I have to go to an appointment, so I have very little time, so I may not get everything done that I want to get done, but I just wanted to try to get a few more pots planted up and just kind of arrange them where I want them to go, and then we're just going to have to wrap it up for the day. So let's keep going. All right, I decided to do the carrots. I am gonna do these in this big tall pot right back here, container. I always say pot, I think the technical word is container, so this container. I thought that they would work really well since they need a little bit more depth. And then I have some cilantro that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put that right here, I think. And I have some kale that, let's see, I guess I'll just put the kale right here. And I have beets. And I'm gonna do the beets in this clay pot right here to give them a little more depth as well. So shouldn't take long. I may need to go fill my bucket a couple of times, but should be pretty easy. So for the carrots, it says to sow 1/4 inch deep, space about 1 inch apart, and then thin 1 inch tall to every 3 inches. A maturity is 65 days. So that should put me right about that time where I want to transition this container to a summer container as well. So they should work out really well. They are teeny tiny seeds. I am not exactly sure how you separate these seeds. They are super, super tiny. So I think I'm just gonna broadcast them and then I will thin them out as needed. So for these beets, it says that they actually mature in 48 days, which will be nice. And it says a seed depth of 1/2 inch and every 4 inches. So these should be easier because these are bigger seeds, a little bit more manageable than the carrot seeds. I'm just gonna place them on top of the soil so I know where I put them, and then I'll just push them in lightly. is next. And this says, let's see, 1/4 inch planting depth and every 2 inches, 55 to 70 days to maturity. These seem a little easier to work with also. Oh my gosh, don't mind my hands are like so dry from the soil. I'm just gonna broadcast these because I think that's okay with kale. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm doing. And the magic of YouTube, I'm back. I ran to my appointment and I have 1 pot left to go. I'm just gonna do some cilantro, 70 days to harvest. Planting depth is 1/4 inch and spacing is about 6 inches. I may just kind of sprinkle them on like I did the kale and just see how it goes. Here's what the cilantro looks like along with dirty and lovely dry hands. Oops. All right, I'm just gonna thin these out if needed. Just see how it goes. Because I have a little bit of extra time now that I got my appointment over with, I decided that I'm just gonna keep going and I'm gonna sow my spinach. You can see that. And I'm just gonna do my yellow onions quick. So I put out a couple more pots here to put them in. So let's get these in as well. I'm gonna put some spinach in this pot and I'm gonna do my yellow onions in that container back there. So for the spinach, it says a planting depth of 1/2 inch and 45 to 70 days to maturity. Here's the spinach seeds. And I'm gonna just broadcast like everything else. So this is just what I picked up at my local store called The Mill, and they just had big bins of these onion bulbs. So I don't really know what I'm doing, but I've read to just space them about 4 inches apart and let the top stick out of the soil a little bit, and then hopefully they grow. So we shall see. Is cleaned up and watered in. Hopefully things begin to start taking off and I get some nice little crops out of these containers. I'm really looking forward to it. And we made a little dent in the pot collection. So this is what's left on my table and this lineup over here. And then I still have some things in the garage. But overall, I think it's looking a little bit tidier and I made sense of some stuff. And I'm looking forward to just fiddling around with all of this as the season goes on. Well, I hope that you enjoyed following me along today as I planted up all of these random containers. It was just kind of a random day of planting seeds in containers. So I really hope that I have something to show you in a month or so, fingers crossed. I hope that y'all have a wonderful Easter. This will probably come out Saturday before Easter, just celebrating with family and friends. And I will talk to you again soon. All right, bye.